very well by now, I'm sure. I've just moved to Seattle, and one of the girls in my program at grad school was telling me about a antique bookstore that was going out of sale in a neighborhood kind of near mine. I say kind of because it's about a 10-minute drive, but it took me an hour to walk there and an hour to walk back. But it was worth it because this place is called Anderson Books. They're going out of sale because the owner is moving, and they have all kinds of antique books all the way through modern on sale for $1. So I went and I got some, and I thought I would share with you guys what I got. Okay, so the very first thing that's in here on top is actually a young adult novel. This is Peter and the Starcatchers by Ridley Pearson and Dave Barry. I have not read anything by either of these authors before. I have heard wonderful things about them. The thing that caught my eye about this book, in addition to it being about Peter Pan and a prequel to Peter Pan, is that this edition is signed on the title page right here by both of the authors. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. It's signed by both of the authors, and it was $1. It's a hardback. It's in wonderful condition, and I'm really, really excited to give this one a read because a lot of what I brought with me is not young adult. It's a lot more serious and contemporary literature. So this is nice to have, and I'll probably read this one sooner rather than later. The next thing in here that I see, it's called Drinking Coffee Elsewhere. This is by ZZ Packer. Again, haven't read anything by this author before, but supposedly this is a collection of short stories specifically focusing on diversity, and it says it's been part of a book club and such. The author of this one has been writing for a long, long time. They actually were writing for 17 magazine when they were just a teenager, so she is well known in the authorial community. Just not someone I picked up before, and I'm very excited about this read. Next, I got several quite old books. It is an antique bookshop. I'm trying to be very careful with them. I don't want to hurt them. The first one that I've actually started reading, as you can tell by the Taco Bell receipt as the bookmark, it's called The Little Book of American Poets. It's supposed to be a companion piece to another small book of modern American poetry. Modern being used loosely because this book was published in 1914, I believe. 1915. This book was published in 1915, and it's a collection of poetry from the Americas from 1787 through 1900. And it's very interesting just from flipping through, the little bit of flipping through I've done so far. They have a lot of the same poets, but the poems that they choose as like foundational and incredible and standout, I've never heard of before, even for the really well-known poets. So this has been interesting just to see how much taste has changed over the past 100 years. The oldest book I picked up by far, and it's still in quite good condition, is this lovely book right here. It's called The Spanish Gypsy. It's by George Eliot, and this copy is from 1868. So I don't know anything about this particular story, but it seems to be written in verse. So I guess both of the old books I picked up were poetry. That's fine. George Eliot, of course, is a very well-known author, and this is a very, very pretty cover. You can tell that it's faded, you can tell that it's a little bit older, but it's still got, the gold is still shiny, and the binding is still very well put together. Next, I got an autobiography. This is Me by Katharine Hepburn. I've wanted to read more about Katharine Hepburn for a very long time. Most people are familiar, or most people are more familiar with her older sister, Audrey Hepburn, but her younger sister, Katharine Hepburn, did some incredible things and lived an incredible life as well. And she's always someone I've wanted to get to know a little bit better. So when I saw this for $1, I had to have it. And finally, I picked up an entirely useless book. This is another older one. And it's University of Washington Songs. And it's got the fun University of Washington 1861 seal down here. So I haven't even really flipped through this book yet, but from what I understand, it is essentially just a songbook for University of Washington people, I guess the collective of songs that they think we all should know. Let's find out what year this is. I can't remember. It's old. 1924. This book is from 1924, and I really don't know that I will ever sing anything out of it, but I thought it was really fun to have a nice, skinny UW book, because I'm new here. I don't have anything like that. I have no t-shirts or mugs or anything yet. So this is my first official UW memorabilia. So that's it. I got 6 books for $6. It's a place called Anderson Books. If you're in the Seattle area, it's down in Ballard, right on Market Street. If you want to check it out, they're going until the beginning of October, I believe. Yeah, I will leave a link down below to that news article, so if you're in the area, you should check it out. They have a really interesting selection. Most of it is nonfiction. There's quite a lot of cookbooks and like history books and anthologies and stuff along those lines. But the far back wall when you walk into the room is fiction, even though it's mostly older fiction. And then they have like a shelf of contemporary novels. So like they had Catching Fire and Mockingjay. They clearly had Peter and the Starcatcher. So they do have a handful of more modern novels if you want to check it out. I will see you guys later.